Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Monday, June 5th, 2023. It's Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market and the stock market, as the stock market is set to open in the next 6 minutes, to see how the day is starting out. We are now on a Monday, so we'll be talking about stuff that went on over the weekend and just what we're looking like with our week getting ready to kick off right now. If you missed it, I did already release a video this morning. I released it about 20 minutes ago. So that'll likely impact live viewership today, but that's totally fine. I knew that when we did it. And just wanted to get that information out there on XRP with where we're at currently right now. So we'll briefly touch on that. But I went ahead and put out like a 15-minute video discussing where XRP is currently. So let's go ahead and dive into the price action currently of what we're looking at right now, coming off of a crazy end to last week for the stock market. Currently right now, Bitcoin shifting to the downside as we have the morning kicking off, down about $400. So it's down to 26,709. Still the cruel summer continuing on here for Bitcoin. Not so much of a cruel summer for XRP, at least so far at this point right now, as over the weekend we got through the 702 retrace and almost wicked that 786 Fibonacci retracement level, but still sitting there within those retraces. The big question, can we get out of here? We've done something similar like this before for those who are around in the 22.5-cent time period. We've pretty much exhibited all those same things that happened back then, including hitting back to that 200-day moving average. Even back then, when we bounced off that 22.5 cents, we hit the 786. We pulled back down below the 618, waddled around in here before a breakout eventually came. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, that is the circumstance that we're in. But at the same time, we're at the challenges of third range boundaries, we're at the challenges of retraces, Elliott waves, all that stuff outlined in today's video. But now is a fingernail biting time. For those who've watched the channel for a long time, I typically always have retail people screaming at me. It's kind of like the normal thing. When we're at lows, I'm never really worried. I'm just kind of like optimistic and bullish while retail is screaming at me. And then when we get higher, I get a little bit worried, get a little bit concerned, and I get people screaming at me. Typical stuff. It'll always be like that on this channel. As long as you're cool with that, welcome aboard. But that's where we're at right now. So right now it's kind of we're at the retracements. Can we get a clear breakout? The price action that we've had here for XRP has just been this kind of crawling action. You go look at all past like big moves up that happen for XRP. They happen in breakouts. So right now we're at that last retracement. We're waiting to see if we can actually get a real break. If we can get a real break, let's go. Let's get bullish. Let's get silly. Let's put wonky price targets all over the place on the thumbnails. Until then, though, we've got the big challenge right here to make sure this isn't a third range boundary, make sure this isn't an ABC. We need a clear break out of these retracement levels to get super excited here for XRP. But if there's a time for the excitement to happen, it's here. It's at this place. It's to get a break from here. But we just have to patiently wait to see if that's what we're going to end up getting. Last week, as the week closed out, the Dow Jones closed up 700 points on Friday, up over 2%. The S&P was up 1.45%, along with the NASDAQ being up 0.73%. As you get ready for the morning to kick off and the market to open up in 2 minutes from right now, the Dow Jones is up 21 points, the NASDAQ is down 14 points, and the S&P is up 4.5 points, which is plus 0.1%, minus 0.1%, plus 0.06%. We've got a flat opening. So we've got pretty much a lackluster opening that's going to happen here. And it seems like probably what's going to end up happening is we're going to have the action come later on in the day. If not, maybe here within the first hour of us actually opening, we'll end up getting the action to show up. But as for pre-market, we don't have anything crazy happening in pre-market. Looking at stocks in here. We'll look at Tesla. So Tesla has been interesting. Tesla's at like what could be a breakout level. So We've been watching Tesla for some time. I've been doing Elliott wave counts on lots of different charts throughout the weekend. I did it on Tesla this weekend too. There is a case for this to be a bottom of Tesla. There is a case for this to be a reversal of Tesla, and this to have been one giant ABC correction that has happened in here at this point. We're at potentially breakout. So as you can see, Tesla is going to open right here at the high. If we got a breakout in here, I would probably be pretty optimistic on Tesla. Not only that for Tesla, for those who have been paying attention, talking about bouncing off those lows and then still continuing to have an ABC correction down here. What do you know? It's exactly what Tesla has. Boom, it's reverted back up to the upside. Now it's trying to go for breakout. I don't own any Tesla, but I would not be surprised if this is a real reversal for Tesla. So, yeah, there's that. As for that, there we go. Did the market just open right now? We just had the market open right now. Ford up 2%. Tesla up 1.66%. There you go. That's how you're starting. You got Ford and Tesla at the top, Coinbase and Nvidia at the bottom. However, they're both down less than 1%. So like we said, kind of a flat opening happening over here in the market, coming off of a 700-point Dow on Friday. So Dow's up 5 points right now, up 8 points, up 7 points, up 5 points, up 6 points right now as the market just opened currently. How is crypto reacting to this on the actual opening? Nothing yet happening over here on Bitcoin. I think I just saw that. What are you doing? Okay, we'll see. As for gold, right? Gold, still nothing. This is good. So this is what you want to see over here for gold to get optimistic for the stock market. If you want to get optimistic for the stock market, it's how you get optimistic for the crypto market. Believe that, don't believe that, whatever. I've done all the research and presented all that data to show it to you. Choose to believe it, choose not to. That's it's your world, man. I'm just living in it. As for the NASDAQ still approaching after that amazing Friday, getting very close to these Fibonacci retracement levels. So it did close last week through its 618 retracement. Of course, go back to October, go back to June of last year. You had everybody screaming, don't fight the Fed, and that we would never do this. Of course, we talked about retraces for the longest time. Now we have the NASDAQ back at the retraces, and the Fed still has not paused yet. Will they? Looks like they might. You can see over here on the CME group as they were predicting what the market has priced in regards to Fed hikes and Fed halts. 75.9% that the Fed is done. 24% that there's still a 25 basis point or 0.25% basis point rate hike. Have you guys noticed this yet? Hold on. Does this work? Oh, dang. I'll have to work on it again. You guys didn't notice it. Somebody did notice it. Brittany Blue noticed it. Did anybody else notice it? Yep. Jay, Edo. We got a new emoji. I'll work on it again. We got to get that background removed. But there you go. Put that together. We got a frog. As for CME Group, it's got a 75% chance of rates being halted, rate hikes being halted. There we go. Otherwise, let's see how we're doing now that we are open. Still pretty tame here for Bitcoin. Sitting down here at these lows currently right now. Now that we have the market open, XRP retraces, Tesla. Is it going for it? It went for it. Going for breakout. There you go, Tesla. Gold. Very good. Just paused out, chilling. A breakdown in gold would be a nice thing to signal more optimism for the stock market. NASDAQ up. Let's see how the Dow is doing. Dow has flipped negative. NASDAQ has flipped positive. If you noticed in pre-market, we had the opposite of that. We actually had the NASDAQ that was negative and the Dow was positive. Now we have the NASDAQ positive and the Dow negative. Now you got Tesla up almost 3%. You got Ford up 2.25%. Let's see. Economic calendar today. What do we have today? We have something. There's a 3-star here. ISM non-manufacturing PMI 51.8. Expectations 51.9. That's good. Again, it says it's 3-star impacts. I don't usually find that to be true. Otherwise, nothing else on the economic calendar today. As for news, stock futures are a little changed. Let's see if they've changed that now that the market is opened. Stocks open little changed after the S&P 500's best week since March. Apple on pace for record high ahead of VR headset unveiling. Ooh, Apple is going to enter VR. The further stock market advance depends on the rally broadening out. Kramer, this is my game plan. Okay, that's cool. Spotify lays off 200 employees, or about 2% of its workforce. That's not terrible, but I don't know. I use Spotify. I like Spotify. If I had to cancel all my memberships to all my different stuff, I don't think Spotify would be one of them I'd cancel. Oil rises on Saudi Arabia's go it alone July production cuts. Morgan Stanley expects a shock of 16% U.S. profit to drop to kill the rally. Okay, Morgan Stanley expects a shock 16% U.S. profit drop to kill the rally. Apple set for record high ahead of mixed reality headset launch. What is mixed reality? Interesting. A Wall Street Titan scores one of the. Okay, yeah. Nothing great. All right, anything in crypto? Oh yeah, there was a hack. All right, Binance hands Rising Star 10 key role to replace. Okay. Bitcoin retail demand to remain strong ahead of halving event. Atomic Wallet users are hacked for $35 million worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, and other tokens. So if you have Atomic Wallet, you may want to check and see if you still have your funds in there. I haven't had a chance to read up more to see exactly what happened to them. But we've received reports of wallets being compromised. I know Zach XBT does a really good job. He's an on-chain sleuth. He noticed all of it. He's been tracking all of it. Atomic Wallet has reportedly been exploited, with users reporting complete losses of their crypto portfolios. Atomic is a non-custodial decentralized wallet, meaning users are responsible for assets stored in the application. We've received reports of wallets being compromised. We're doing all we can to investigate and analyze the situation. As we have more information, we'll share it accordingly. Several users have commented on the post reporting losses, claiming funds have been wiped from their digital wallet app. Oh, it even mentions him. On-chain sleuth Zach you got that wrong. Zach BTX, known for tracing stolen funds and assisting hacked projects, is taking part in the investigation. At the time of writing, it's unclear how the hack was carried out. Twitter users have also reported that funds on the Atomic Wallet app have been stolen in the past. This happened to my Bitcoin 6 months ago with Atomic. They simply replied back to protect your password, C phrase, blah, blah, blah. I told them not even possible. All they do is use you to exchange and move the crypto app. Our response to them is, you know more? Okay, that's great. You're yelling. But anyway, so if you use Atomic Wallet, if you haven't heard, if you have it on a device or something, go check your device, see if it's there. If you still have it on there, seems like the appropriate thing to do is to get it out. Ethereum gas fees cool down after May meme coin frenzy. Yeah, that's what we talked about, man. Meme coin's going wild in here, just like we did in 2021. Do Kwon out on bail. Atomic Wallet says hacked affected 1% of active users, but investors claim otherwise. I personally have people I follow on Twitter that are impacted by it. 1%. Let's see about that. Go check it. If you guys use it, can somebody report in here if they still have it or if they've lost it? If you use Atomic Wallet. So otherwise, in regards to news, that was really the big thing. I don't think we have anything else. Oh yeah, John Deaton got hacked over the weekend. Of course, that's a big one. Look at that. He made it onto Cointelegraph. Pro XRP attorney's phone hacked to promote law token. Right now, John Deaton's Twitter is hacked. So if he likely got SIM swapped, he likely got something happened with his phone, right? And so It also happened to Jim Bianco over the weekend. Jim Bianco reported that what happened was he got SIM swapped and that he had his 2FA or two-factor authentication on Twitter set as text message. So I don't know if that's the same circumstance for John, but if you do, you probably want to change it to an authenticator app. Seems to be a strategy to hack and promote random coins. And these guys, like these hackers that are doing this, they're paying attention to these profiles. They're doing it too. Like with John Deaton's, like they create a token called Law. And then they start talking about, thank you for supporting me on my birthday. It's so great to be putting this coin out on my birthday. Like they're going through like understanding the person they're hacking, understanding the audience that they're going after and the character they're having to pretend to play as they promote the coin to make themselves seem like they really are that person. So, yeah. Pro XRP lawyer John Deaton suffered a phone hack on June 4th amid a relentless cyber attack over several days. And Crypto Law had tweeted, John Deaton's phone has been hacked today after a relentless cyber attack over several days. This is not a legitimate tweet. His account has been taken over. He has taken immediate steps to remedy the situation. Please disregard it in all communications from it until you, I don't know, probably hear something from John. But you can see in here, somebody has hacked John's profile. It says, presenting Law, the official token derived from Crypto Law US. Law introduces an innovative approach to tokenization and DeFi centered around crypto regulation and jurisdiction. Claim Law here. And this is a total scam. You're going to lose all your money. Probably, maybe even worse. I don't know. Don't do it. Don't go to that website. Don't do anything until John has confirmed the recovery of this account. But this exact same thing happened to Jim Bianco yesterday. Jim Bianco has about 300,000 followers on Twitter as well. He's more of studies more on macroeconomy. It happened to him, and I believe I didn't see it with my own eyes, but everybody else was reporting it happened to Peter Schiff, too. So, careful out there. All right. As for news, that seems to be it. So what are we looking at now that the market has opened for the week? We are at 26,742 for Bitcoin. Mixed market over here, mostly in the red. Looking over at XRP at these last fib levels right now. Waiting to see if we can get actual breakout price action. I put out a 15-minute video this morning. So we're a little bit slower here in the live stream this morning because sure, there's a ton of people. I think I can actually look how many people are watching the video right now. Approximately 3,000 people are watching the video right now. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. That's about XRP. It's about the current place that we're at right now. We're at the retraces, guys. This is where the big things happen from. Otherwise, as for the stock market, how are you doing now? It keeps going back and forth. Let's see where we're at now. Dow is down 7 points. NASDAQ up 63. So NASDAQ, which was the only one that was in the red in pre-market, now is the one that is the most in the green as the day has kicked off. And we can see these assets have now mostly flipped green. Tesla still being the leader, followed by Ford, Apple, Netflix, Google. Coinbase in the red at 1.32% in the red. Otherwise, not too bad of a day out here. Yields. So this is interesting. Let's look at yields. You can see what's happening here. So now the now the Treasury is going to start issuing debt. This is what my whole newsletter was about. I don't have it pulled up here to show you. Maybe I'll show you here. When we issue debt, the retail view is that we are going to money printer go burr, debt, money printer go burr. But I don't think they have any idea what it even means for money printer go burr. And I don't think they have any idea what it means to add on more debt. So what it means to add on more debt is that the United States government is going to sell more treasury bonds. These are IOUs and they pay interest, right? So if I go and buy a 1 month treasury bond or 1 month treasury bill from the United States government, that means I'm loaning my money to the US government And I'm doing it at an annual interest rate of 5.11%. Now, I'm not going to get paid 5.11% for a whole month. I'm getting at an annual percentage rate of 5.11%. Now, if I go buy a whole year, right, 5.27%, I go buy one of these. That means I'm loaning my money to the United States government, and they're going to pay me 5.27% to borrow my money. That is what these treasury bills and bonds and notes and all that good stuff is for. Is these are all the United States government borrowing money. So if the United States is going to borrow a bunch of money, where's the money going to come from? Retail investors all think, money printer go brr. That's where it comes from. Does it? Why? Why would it? The money printer go brr has nothing to do with the United States taking on debt, has nothing to do with them issuing more treasury bills, treasury bonds, treasury notes. It's got nothing to do with it. Money printer go brr is the Federal Reserve starting QE. It's that there's not enough money to buy it all up. So the Fed steps in to save the day. So what happens here is there's now going to be $1 trillion from the United States government saying we need money, we want to borrow money, and here's the rates that we're going to do it at. Where's the money going to come from? Is it going to come from here? Is it going to come from the stock market? Is it going to come from banks? Is it going to come from retail investors? Because it's not coming from the Fed. So where's it going to come from? So the danger and the worry about the money printer go brr is that it is not going to be a money printer go brr phenomenon that happens by all this debt being issued, but it'll be that it's going to pull liquidity out of markets, that the United States Treasury needs money, they need to borrow it, and they're going to make enticing rates to pull money out of the stock market to get investors to give them money rather than pile it into the stock market. So what's the alternative? Where can the money come from that isn't in the stock market, that isn't banks, right? So if banks do it, then banks are already in trouble because they had too many treasuries, right? That's how they got themselves in this banking crisis in the first place, is they already had too many treasuries. Are they going to be the ones to go buy all those treasuries? If they are, then they're not going to be using money to stimulate the economy, issue out bank loans, business loans, all that stuff. This extra capital that they can't lend out, right? They're just going to go tie it up in treasuries again for 5%. So where will the money come from? The Fed isn't doing QE right now. You could see it on their balance sheet. Their balance sheet is down, right? Federal Reserve balance sheet. Let's go look. There you go. There's Federal Reserve balance sheet. Money printer go brr. I don't think so. It's not doing that. They're not doing that. So are they going to be the ones to step in and buy all the debt? That is the only way you have a money printer go brr situation, is if the Fed comes in and buys all the debt. And if the Fed buys all the debt, then that means that the money has to move further out on the risk curve, which means that's when you start seeing stock markets go up, right? Because the safest place to run to is these treasuries. That's where everybody's going to run to. If the Fed is the one who buys all those up, then the money that wants to seek yield and make money has to go further out on the yield curve, right? We get mortgage-backed securities. You get, then you start entering in the stock market, right? And then you start entering into crypto, chasing the big yield. The one place the money could come from would be the reverse repo facility. There's $2.2 trillion tied up in there. That's the bull case. That's the bull case for this to happen. So we'll be keeping our eyes on the reverse repo facility at the Fed, which is not Fed money. It's not bailout money. It's not money printer go brr money. It's money that's been sucked out of the market and is parked at the Fed for 5.25% or 5.05% interest. So I may have lost a lot of you at this point. But what I'm getting at here is that we're noticing yields go up. We're noticing finally long-dated yields going up and short-dated yields going down. Now, why would these go down temporarily? Because probably not an emergency for the Fed to make sure they issue short-duration debt. And probably a bunch of people like me who actively just like roll their money through these, pulled it all out prior to getting to this deadline, and we all just kind of got the green light to throw it back in. So there's probably high demand for these 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s 4-month yields right now. So maybe if that calms down, these will turn back up and start keeping up with these. But it is interesting to see long duration yields are outperforming short duration yields. I find this interesting. This is an interesting thing to watch right now as the NASDAQ is getting back to retracement levels right here, that the Treasury is going to suck a bunch of liquidity out of the stock market unless if the reverse repo facility cash balance of $2.2 trillion gets pushed out into the market. Okay, well, enough of that. I'm going to lose half of you guys with that. If you want to hear all about it, check out that. Okay. All right, Bitcoin, 26,539, XRP still at retracement levels throughout the weekend. Exciting, but terrifying at the same point. Waiting to see if we get breakout from here. NASDAQ off to a decent start this morning with the Dow down 6 points, S&P up 9 points, NASDAQ up 52 points. So the NASDAQ's leading at about 1/3%, with the S&P up about 1/4% and the Dow flat. Leader of this morning is Tesla. It seems like it is having a breakout kind of moment happening in here as it just took out the February heights right in there. Pretty decent signs there for Tesla. Gold still holding that 702 backtest in there, cheering for a breakdown. If you care about crypto, you want to see the stock market do well, you probably want to see gold fall down. So hopefully if gold takes a tumble down in here. I do hedge my portfolio with gold, but I treat it as a hedge and I absolutely cheer against it. I hope for a crumble of gold. It is only a hedge for me in the event of bad things coming. So it's been nerve-wracking. You would think I'd be cheering for gold as we've been getting up here. I've talked about it. I own more gold than I do Bitcoin. You would think I'd be cheering for that happening up there. Absolutely not. I'm feeling relieved to see that pullback, even though I own more gold than I do Bitcoin. As for NASDAQ retraces, economic calendar, nothing big going on today. Let's see if this, oh no, wrong one. There we go. 75.9% chance of a Fed pause come June 14th. So let's talk about that next week. What do we have next week by June 13th? We're supposed to get responses from the SEC in regards to the Hinman emails. That's next week. And then the next day, June 14th, is where the Fed has their meeting and where we're going to find out if they're going to pause. We've never had a Fed meeting where we've gone into it with this big of an expectation for a Fed pause. Now, we are 9 days away from that, right? So have we seen this flip this way in 9 days before the Fed meeting? Absolutely. We've definitely seen that. We've seen it go like this, and then it's like this by the time we get to the Fed meeting. But we've never gone into a Fed meeting like this, and then the Fed did the opposite of what the market expected. So we'll keep our eye on this, but finally, that's coming next week. Do we find out if the Fed pauses? Cheering for a Fed cut is the worst thing you could cheer for. That has historically never been good for markets. That is historically a doom city. When the Fed is cutting rates, it is doom city, not buy city. Run for the hills city. A Fed pause historically has been okay to good for markets. But 6 to 12 months after a pause is typically where the whole thing just completely falls apart and everything hits the fan and they have to start cutting. And it's still not even time to be entering in the market during when they start cutting. It's waiting until S has already completely hit the fan and they're like deep into their cutting cycle. So we'll see. All right, but that's it. I think we've kind of beat it. There we go. You had John. He got hacked this weekend. Don't pay attention to his Twitter until he gets that back. Don't pay attention to that scam coin that the hacker is promoting. If you have Atomic Wallet was hacked. They claim only 1% of users were impacted. We'll see if that ends up being true. As for economic news, nothing huge on the economic front. Sounds like Apple's coming out with a VR set here pretty soon. Fed hike looking like there's a 75% probability that they are paused. NASDAQ up morning. Looks like it's kind of cooling off now. We kind of had a flat opening, it seems like. It tried to press up here at the opening, but still kind of sitting flat. Gold slightly down. Tesla trying to break out, still up above the height that was set back there in February. So this is the highest prices today we've seen in 2023 for Tesla. And with XRP sitting back at retracement levels. I've released a video this morning discussing all about this stuff. You guys know it. Retracement levels scare the crud out of me. We're here. We're through the 702. We've gotten through that one, but at the very last one currently right now, with Bitcoin still teasing along in a cruel summer. So looks like a lot of you just got done watching the video as the viewer count has suddenly piled up a little bit higher right now. I knew I'd be competing against myself by releasing that, but it's okay. All right, I'm hopping into the chat this morning, guys. Happy Monday. Welcome. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Chris Long, 702. What's up, man? He says you need to do another BBQ stream so XRP can moon. That's right. It did. We did watch price go up during the stream while we were barbecuing. So if that becomes the thing, then that becomes the thing. Thank you, Chris. Ryan Chase, new member. What's up? Whiskey 2 says Monday needs likes. Show love. Love the frogs. Love the day. Whiskey, always supporting, asking everybody for those likes. I released a frog emoji, but as you guys can see, it did not remove the background. Unless if you have a white, if you're not in dark mode in streaming, you can't tell. But if you're in dark mode, you can tell that background has not been removed. So I'll have to play with that a little bit more to see if I can get that fixed. And maybe by tomorrow it'll be better. But thank you, Whiskey. I agree. If you could, hit the like button. Jesus Vasquez, welcome as a member. Thank you very much, Jesus. TB, hey BCB, thank you for all that you do. It's greatly appreciated, brother. Do you mind taking a look at Casper plus Algo and sharing your thoughts? Thank you. We kind of do that all the time, man. I'm going to try to avoid altcoins. The second I do one, I get 13, 14 more, like $3, $4 donations of all different types of various altcoins to take a look at. We've kind of covered those a lot. Casper is struggling after the market cap hit its all-time high. I've been pretty vocal on like Casper in general. Algo, it's been dealing with SEC stuff, right? It got labeled as a security, broken in new lows. It's got to find a support. There's not a whole lot to say about Algo outside it's in new lows, and it's got to find a support. And we've talked a lot about Algo. Their developer count's way down. They're running ads on Twitter. Like I'm getting targeted by Algorand ads. So I don't know what's happening with them. As for Casper, their inflationary supply has kept the price very low. Otherwise, the chart's very similar. Is it heading into a spring? Is it heading into a last point of support? But I'm not a huge fan of Casper outside of they did something with the inflation. The question that everyone needs to ask, if you haven't asked and if you don't care, then you're just not paying attention with Casper. Where did all that value go? The market cap has gone back to the all-time high, but token holders are still sitting at all-time lows. Somebody got all of that market value. Someone got it, and it happened due to inflation. So where did all of that token allocation go? If it went to stakers, fine. But if it went to like the Algorand Foundation or Casper Labs or Casper Foundation or something like that, it's just robbery. So figure out what happened with that. And I'm going to show it just because I don't want to sound like I'm fudding something for no reason. That's not my intention. Here is Casper. Here is this date. There's November 30th of 2021. The price of Casper is down 81% from November 30th of 2021. That's what Casper is down right now. November 30th of 2021. The market cap has set a new all-time high already. The price of Casper is down 22% versus the all-time high, but has even set a new all-time high. That means there was so many tokens printed that token holders got robbed and someone got all the value of the market, who were the ones who got all the newly issued tokens? If it was people who were staking or doing proof of work or something by participating in the system and it was evenly distributed amongst token holders, it's not an issue. I mean, it sucks, but it's not a problem. But if it went to like Casper Labs or Casper Technologies or Casper Enterprises, whatever they are, if they are the ones who were the ones who drained all of the value out of the market and put it in their pocket, that's a concern. So, and nobody's ever answered that to me. I brought that up. Anybody who does have that or has an answer to it can tell me what the answer is. Why, who is the recipient of all of the market cap of Casper? It was not token holders. It was some funny business went on here, unless if it was staking. If it was staking and it was mostly allocated to token holders, all good. But if it wasn't, there was some type of robbery that appears that occurred here. That's not FUD, man. That's just data. Somebody has to answer it. XRPP. What? Where is? Oh, there we go. XRPP asks, did I miss a Bitcoin? I almost called myself Bitcoin backer. Did I miss BCB talking about XRPP? And then Participation Trophy Wives asks, hey, XRPP, did I miss PP in the morning? Welcome, XRPP. It is a pleasure to see you. Now go hop on your not Oscar Hernandez profile, sir. TB. There we go. Thanks for all you do. Greatly appreciate it. So there's Casper and Algo. That's all I can do, man. That's why I can't do these altcoins, guys. They take up too much time. Any more of them that come through, I'm going to have to gloss over you and tell you I can't do it, guys. Sorry. Not this morning. Not Monday. We're not going to start today like that. Deja Vu 702, first timer with a deja vu. Been here in the shadows since the lawsuit began. Whew. Always support the channel with a like. That's the number one way to support it. A huge thanks to you and your team for all that you do. Thank you so much, Deja Vu 702, first timer. I appreciate it. Thomas Campbell says, BCB, what resource do you use to track developer growth on these projects? I use Electric Capital. I've been DMing them too. I've been in talks with them privately to try to get more updated data from them, because they never updated May. So the data is starting to get out of date. I really need to see what the trend is now, because there's not Oscar Hernandez. Because now the next developer update we get, we're going to see truly what happened here. Because in our last developer update, we got to see some data of not only did we have year over year decline, but then we got to also see who declined the most after the FTX collapse. But at the same time, in January, throughout the history of developer tracking, the beginning of the year is typically where there is developer fall off in the cryptocurrency market. So we are usually going to see developers falling off from January through March of every year. It's not unusual. It's what typically does happen. Then you start to see things start to kind of recover after that. So when the April report was released, that's kind of what we got. We got through April 1st, which means you get all of January, February, and March, which you're typically going to see developer decline happen. Not only are we going to see developer decline happen from that, but we're going to see developer capitulation, say, F it, I'm out of here, man, when this FTX collapse stuff happened, right? So getting another report then gives us a bigger clue at the same time of, okay, well, what was kind of temporary fall off that happened from that? And who's back on the right track, or has anybody continued that path of just death and destruction to their project with developer abandonment? And so I'm really looking forward to the next report that comes out. So we kind of have a couple metrics that we look at. I've looked at like year over year. So not just worrying about the FTX stuff, but we can look at what happened up until the FTX collapse, what was already having declines kind of heading into that moment, and then looking at who's having even bigger declines after FTX collapsed between December and between April 1st. Now, once we get the next report, which we were hoping to get a May one, I've been in contact with them. There obviously wasn't a May one, but they're actively working to make sure they get a June one out. Once we get that June report out, we'll really get to see who kept that just death spiral going, and did the ones that looked like they were doing great earlier continue that, or if some bounce back. I don't know. I've got my Excel sheet all ready to go to plug in the new sets of data whenever they come. And I look forward to reviewing my own portfolio and kind of my personal biases based on my own research right now to see if that information can corroborate my biases or if I have to change some of my views on some stuff. So, Electric Capital. But thank you, Thomas. Andy Philpott, happy Monday, my dude. Thank you, Andy. Happy Monday. Robert Barker, thank you so much, Robert. Hi, BCB. I just wanted to say huge thanks for all your hard work. You've always brightened up my day with your positivity on crypto and life. For every troll, remember you have an army of people who fully appreciate you and your work. Thank you very much for saying that. So when I was with Digital Asset Investor, when we were at the XRP community meetup, I ran into him in the hallway and we kind of chatted it up with each other. And we talked about how important it is to those really nice things that you just said there, Robert. I mean, they go a long way. And for, like you just said, for every troll, there's a ton of them, a ton of nice people, and how you do have to try your best to eliminate listening to the trolls, the people who are just obsessed with you, who stalk you, who have to be there at every moment to try to bring you down. Because you just hear it over and over again, it gets overwhelming, and you have to try to ignore them, block them, get on with your life from it. But the kind words go a tremendous long way, and that was what was so great about XRP Las Vegas, was getting to see that in person, and getting that real human interaction. We all talk about metaverses and everything. Like, nothing is going to replace human interaction. Nothing. I can't imagine it ever happening. But hearing those things in real life too, they went a very long way. And you're absolutely right. There's tons of people who support, and I'm just overwhelmingly grateful. Thank you very much. I don't know what else to say. It's a very kind thing that you said, Robert. Thank you. Tay Brown says, could you break out on a buy the rumor, sell the news type price action? I think that's an oxymoron. Isn't that? How do you break out on a buy the rumor, sell the news? If you would sell if the news came out, we'd sell, right? I don't know. Could you break out on a buy the rumor, sell the news type price action? I think you're asking if price can be all crazy volatile and do the opposite, or the opposite on news. Maybe, I don't know, man. Anything could. Oh no. Crypto pitch, it says, yo, BCB, I've given up on the 50x leverage. Thank God. After I got totally wrecked. Still got my mega bag though, ready to go. Where do you think a giraffe would wear its tie in a job interview? The top of the neck or the bottom of the neck? Yeah, right? Like underneath its chin or at the bottom? I'll get back to that one. Let me go in order. That one just flashed in my face. But thank you, Tay Brown. I'm not sure how to answer that. If you're asking pretty much, can volatility happen on narratives? Yeah. Daniel Delgado says, good morning, BCB. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, brother. Listening to you again while cleaning carpets. Hey, Daniel, thanks, man. Dude, all right. So are you a carpet cleaner? Like a professional carpet cleaner? You've got to be. Why else would you be cleaning carpets another day? Thanks, man. If so, dude, I've done that work before, man. Hard work. Get jacked, dude. Your shoulders get ripped. All right. Moon Wrangler said, actually, the reverse repo does not receive fresh up. No, it has nothing to do with money from the printer. I agree. Remember when the Fed funds rate hit 10% in September 2019, the Fed added trillions? Also, New York Fed primary dealers get first dibs on treasuries. All right, so that was the repo market, right? Right. 10% in 2019. Right. That's where the Fed had to step in and provide liquidity. And so you're right, you said the Fed added trillions. Well, they didn't add trillions right away. They're adding like 50 billion a night though. Also, New York Fed primary dealers get first dibs on treasuries. So actually, the reverse repo does not receive money fresh off the printer. Correct. The reverse repo is not money from the Fed. Right? So it's always perceived as the treasury market is the safest place to park your money because the United States government's not going to fall. But even the credit default swaps perceived there as being risk at a 1.5% premium on a 5% 1-year sovereign bond. But where is the true risk-free spot? It's to park it in the reverse repo. Because while you can get 5.25% on a treasury, you can only get 5.05% by parking it at the Fed. But you're not exposed to the risk of the interest rate hikes, which is what happened to a lot of these banks, right? They got stuck with all these treasuries that had a lower yield and had a lower trading value than what you could get right now in the market. So what does the treasury have to do? Treasury's got to raise those yields have to go higher than what the reverse repo is being offered at. If they can get higher than that, then hopefully that money can get pulled out of the reverse repo. All right. Thank you, Moon Wrangler. Not Oscar Hernandez comes out right the second that I said, hey, XRPP, we need you on the not Oscar Hernandez. Not Oscar Hernandez makes his appearance. It's nice to have you back, sir. Tony Tone says, any thoughts on the safety of people's retirement being safe 6 to 12 months from now if the Fed does pause the rates? Or any thoughts on the safety of people's retirement being safe in 6 to 12 months from now if the Fed does pause the rates? Thank you for all you do, BCP. Well, I've been vocal, man. Been vocal. Like, if you are fully exposed to the stock market, then you have to have the belief that the stock market's going to keep going up and that it's not going to retrace or, you know, where's the stock? Where's the Dow? Right? That it's going to go plowing through all this. None of this matters. None of this wave count stuff matters. You know, Fibs, it's almost at a 4.236. So this is still the big debate here. Is this what's going to happen like Bitcoin did, right? And with Bitcoin, you had the initial sell-off that took place, right? With Ethereum, you had the initial sell-off that took place. So this would be your automatic reaction, then your sign of weakness, and then your up thrust. So up thrust, right? You have to just believe that there's no it's not going to stop up here. That's what you have to believe, or that's not even going to happen. That you're at your retracements. So a lot of people want me to like tell them what they're gonna do, what to do or what's going to happen here. I can't tell you what's going to happen here. You're at retracements. You know this. We've done this very clear that this is these are 5 waves. You're here. You're at retracements. And here's what always happens to people, and I can't help anybody because it's too late at that point, right? When you're at retracements, okay, now this is a scary time. Are you going to make decisions or are you not going to make decisions? The problem is the market will fall to right here, and then they say, oh no, what do I do now? And then they start deciding to make decisions after a big fall has happened, and then they kind of get into this slop zone. I've sold everything, and we get into slop. And then they start, enough time elapses. You know what? This is stupid. I'm just going to hold on to it. So, you know, it just depends. Like for me, I don't have much money I have a lot of money in crypto, which, you know, maybe stupid, maybe not. But I have a lot of money in crypto. At the same time, I have a lot of money in gold and silver. And at the same time, I have a lot of money in cash. I buy treasuries. I don't have my entire retirement depending on stock market go up. And I would say I have a lot depending on crypto go up. But I have it hedged slightly with gold and silver. Even that, I don't know if that'll work. But if you're like all in stock market, you know where you are. Your guess is going to be as good as mine here The only thing I can do is say during all these times is be like, not panic, don't panic, don't panic. Yeah, all these people are saying don't fight the Fed. The clowns are out there who know everything. Get back to retracements. Okay, now it's time to make the decisions. What are you going to do? I've tried talking to my mother-in-law. I've tried convincing her. You shouldn't, you're pushing in your 60s. Why are you still fully exposed? She's not going to make the change. No matter what case I make to her, she's not doing it. She's all in. Which sucks. But, good luck to her. All right, got to move on. Thank you, Tony Tones. Crypto Pigeon, thank you very much for the support. Crypto Quester. FYI, Sentiment has better dev data than Electric Capital. Okay, sweet. I'm going to check them out. I noticed, I think has, I noticed this by accident. I probably should have known it a long time ago. Does Masari offer on-chain data like Glassnode does? I was scrolling through there yesterday and I noticed they had like pro stuff or checking wallet addresses and wallet accounts. I was like, dude, this is like Glassnode. Does Masari offer that now? Not Oscar Hernandez. Backers Doom posts are my favorite. But thank you, Crypto Quester. I will check it out. I'm gonna type it in here. Sentiment. See what other crypto traders are missing. What is the pricing of this? Okay, $44 a month, $149 a month. Oh no, wait. If you try it, $49 or $160. All right, I'll play with it, dude. I'll give it a month and see what it does. Now, Crypto Pigeon, I'm telling you, man, those $20 bets on 50x leverage, you're crazy. Still, to this day, I haven't done leverage. I won't do it. GSML says, BCB, you're the highlight of my work morning. Your positive attitude and hopeful outlook is contagious. Thank you for everything you do, brother. What are you guys doing, man? Making me feel good. Thank you. All right. I appreciate you guys. Oh, here we go. Brianna Marie says, did you let it slip that your MIL, that you're the Bitcoin backer? Probably why she won't listen to you. Slip it to your MIL. What is an MIL? Is that what a wife is? Well, Bitcoin backer was an original name offered to me by, what's his name? What's the name of the guy that used to work for Ripple, but now he works for Expector? What is his name? Why is everybody saying mother-in-law? Dude, is the stream like really far behind? Oh, mother-in-law. Oh, dang. That was like, I have very dark brown hair, but that was a very blonde moment that just happened right there. Okay. I'd go back and read your comment. See if I can understand what you were asking me. I lost it. Bingo. All right, whatever. Look at you guys in the chat. Dingus in the law. What was I saying? I don't know. I'm just having fun now. Okay. Back to it. Let's get serious. This is a no fun zone. My wife knows all about that. When Bob away. That's it. Bob away. Yeah, she's listening. I know she's listening. Welcome to the no fun zone. That's Dad. All right. All right. At this point, we're just goofing off. What are we even doing anymore? I'm just like completely lost track. I've already recorded a video today, guys. It's already out this morning. I hope that you enjoy it. We're just going to go through the situation we're in right here. Look, like the thing is, this could either be like the most exciting time for XRP that we're back here, or it's like, no, it's not. This is bad. Like we're at retracements. This is a third range boundary. We go through Elliott wave counts. I pull up zigzags. I go through like the rules of zigzags and the retracements in here and ABCs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s and exactly what we're in. And right here, right now, we just have no technical breakout, no technical price breakout action, no breakout price action, and we're stuck. But it doesn't mean we can't get it. And if it's going to happen, if there's going to be a big breakout of super massive epic fun times, this is the place for it to occur from. The alternative is it's also the place to reject from. So cross your fingers, pray to God, cheer to the SEC anti-mojo that they get wrecked and that Ripple wins. I don't know. It's the perfect time for a catalyst to appear. And if we can get our breakout from here, boom, it'd be amazing. So that's what I made the video about this morning. It's exciting to be here, but definitely fingernail biting all the way. And I can't wait to get past this moment to know what the answer is and to see if we're done with our range. But as for the stock market now down. Dow Jones down 90 points. NASDAQ up 30. Bitcoin just kind of hovering all around in a cruel summer. Still nothing going on here just yet. Where XRP's had more of a fun summer. So, all right. Kale Royer says, hey, BCB, I love and appreciate all that you do. I've been a follower from early 2020. Question on the Tesla breakout. Retrace or possible new all-time high? Well, the first thing to, of course, watch is retraces, right? So people who are just like buying and selling and getting out, like proper people who do this, like do day trading, they don't do an all or nothing strategy. Like if you get back to the retracements, they're going to take profits at the retracements and hedge what they've already done. But it's funny because I just recorded for the course. I just finished it over the weekend. I'm thrilled. The whole Elliott wave section, and the rules on ABC corrections and their fib distances. Tesla meets the criteria for a completed Elliott wave ABC correction, which would technically push to new all-time highs. But the thing, of course, to be concerned about in the back of it all is getting to retracement levels. Those are first things to watch out for is danger. What if the count's wrong? But technically speaking, it seems like it would be all-time highs. And this is definitely a violent bounce off the bottom. This is, I didn't even put this in the course, but that's your little, what do you call it? Adam and Eve, right? So I don't own Tesla. I'm not playing in it. I'm just not interested in it. I don't spend much time in this chart, right? So there's charts that I'll spend the vast majority of my time. I would say now, not so much, but like in general, like 40% of my time is spent in the XRP chart. Probably 30% is spent in the Bitcoin chart. And then my time is really spread out everywhere else throughout cryptocurrency. But there's certain charts where I live and breathe in those charts. And in each chart, you have different market makers, you have a different reaction from retail, you have different things, and you have typically repetitive things that will show up similarly within the same chart. You have the same group of investors, you have the same market makers all working on the same asset. And so you'll see repetitive things happen within one chart. So living and breathing in that asset kind of gives you a competitive advantage in that asset. Tesla's not one I spend a tremendous amount of time in. If you were to say, is this a expanded flat Elliott wave correction? it sure matches the criteria to be one. So I would think it's probably good, but I don't live and breathe in it. But I did a lot of measurements this weekend, and it seemed that it did fit in the criteria of being completed. Which was news because we talked about last week. I was saying, or not last week, we're talking about in February. Once we got that big bounce, I said, well, I wouldn't be surprised to have problems here, and that it isn't. Then we showed up in ABC. We've talked about that on like all the assets. Those are the things that you look for down here are the ABCs. When I saw that appearing, I said, well, wait a minute. Do we have other things going on here? Now we have this criteria. We have a very strong bounce. We have the ABC. Go through and do all the Elliott wave count. The Elliott wave count matches to optimistic for a new all-time high. I'm personally not taking the bet on it. I just don't care about stocks. I don't have the patience for them. But no matter what, just like we are with XRP, no matter how optimistic we are, it's the retraces that are the worrisome time period for it. So your question is just retraces or just all-time high? Well, it's retraces and then we find out. All right. Hey, BCB. But thank you, Kale. Hey, BCB, do you think stocks can go to a depression while Congress is holding? I'm excited to subscribe to your course. Thank you. Yeah, and it's not a subscription, guys. The course is never a subscription model. It's just you buy it and you have access to it and it's yours. And I try to make it in a price range that everybody can afford it, but not subscription based. Do you think it can go into a depression while Congress is holding? I guess it could, but do you think they will? They keep teasing that they're going to pass some law to make it to where they can't hold stocks, that they have to sell their stocks, right? They keep teasing it out there, but they don't do anything about it, right? Why would they tease about it but not do anything about it? Unless they're like waiting for their right time to do it. Do you think they'll do it? It seems possible they'll do it. Why? Because the Fed did it. The Fed literally, let's do this. Like, here's the S&P. What day did the Fed ban themselves from owning stocks where they had to sell them? Well, they start the money printers. They're allowed to have stocks. 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 Here's 4.236 extension. Hold on. I got to get it. Where is it? I got to find it. Okay. Where are we? Oh, am I on the weekly time frame? Let's go to the daily time frame. We hit the 4.236 extension. We hit it a second time. This day, right here, October 20th, October 21st. Fed to ban policymakers from owning individual stocks and to restrict their trading. When did they do it? Right there. October 21st. Right here. You can't see my circle, but it's right there. They're allowed to own stocks and trade stocks all the way up, and then they stop right there. How do you find that statistically coincidental? How? It can't be. There's no way it's an accident. It's intent. There's no way. I got to make this bigger so we could see it. That's where they banned themselves from owning stocks. October 21st, as we're at the 4.236 extension. What was also interesting about that is they did it, like you hit the 4.236 extension here in September, and then we come over here to when we go back to touch that high, and it's that day, 4.236 extension, it's that day at that same price level, they ban themselves from owning stocks, which means for ethical reasons, we have to sell everything, you guys. It's just for ethics. Oh, darn. We're going to start QE. We're going to start QT. You know, we're going to mess up the whole stuff. We're going to mess up everything now. It doesn't matter, though, because we're not in it. Now, will Congress, do you think Congress will do the same thing? Are they above doing that? I don't think they're above doing that. I think they would do that no problem. So do I know if they will? Of course not. I don't know if they will. But the Fed did it. All right, moving on. Robert Parsons, thank you so much. BCB, I'm late again, so I've missed a lot of your content today. Is anything interesting on XRP? You think it will hold or get your 44 cents? Anything? Thank you for everything and enjoy your day, BCB. It feels good seeing what you produce. Thank you so much, Robert. I put out a video on XRP today. It's just we're at retracement levels, man. At this point, we've gotten all the way to the last one. So I'd watched today's video. I've kind of gone through this a few times already in today. Just this is the retracement level. This is where everything can go absolutely insanely fantastic or insanely bad from. So we have to wait on it. Yeah, watch today, man. This is in 2020 when we did this, when we bounced off this and we got back in here, we stalled out in here and then it took off without pulling back very deep. So fair game now. Now that we've hit that last retracement, it's fair game on any of them. One rough weekend. BCC, if XRP by chance we do get rejected at 786, did we go down quickly or a slow and painful drawdown? I totally want this to break 55 cents. I don't know. One rough weekend. It's kind of a time question. So what I did today is I included a lot of like C19 stuff when that happened, right? So we on how quickly things turned around then and then turned back up. I'm not saying that's what we're doing here right now. But you can look at each of XRP's examples to see how quickly they can go or how slowly they can go. I don't have the answer for you. Time on how fast things would happen. Personally, if it did happen, I'd pray. Most people would probably pray it happened really fast. Whap! And then often everybody just buys it and then off and away it goes, right? I think that's what we would all cheer for if it's going to happen to happen really quickly. But the market usually likes to dish out the most pain. What's the most pain we can dish out? That's what the market tries to do. But the question is, have we already been given enough? We are now at over a year in this range. We're not out of the range. You can clearly see we're not out of range, right? And show me an example of a bull run where the price action moved like this. There's none. It doesn't move like this, right? When it goes, it's a breakout. But there's lots of examples of us getting back to retracement levels like this. We don't have the answer on, are we going to stall here for quite some time? Are we in the Elliott waves? Watch today's video. Hey, we're at 702 likes. Just watch today's video. All right. Thank you. Eric Martin said, you just got me really nervous. Yeah, well, I don't know why it's so a surprise. Of course, Eric, you know I love you, but I'm going to talk about. I don't know why people get so surprised that I get nervous at retracement levels. And I'm never nervous at lows. I'm always like this optimistic guy at the lows. Well, half people are screaming, crying, saying we're going lower. And I'm over here like, hey, I'm bullish. Hey, I'm bullish. No, we're not. And then when we go back up, I get nervous. And you know why? It's because I've kept an emotional log to see exactly where the wrong times to be nervous are and the right times to be nervous are. And the wrong times to be nervous have always been at the lows. When everybody's screaming, we're going lower. They're all whining and complaining and screaming at each other on Twitter. That's the wrong time to be bearish. The times to get concerned is when everybody's jumping for joy on Twitter, YOLO, and we're back into retracement levels and everybody's super optimistic and rumors are spreading and speculation and getting secret text messages that it's over. We don't know, right? Like everybody's FOMOing, right? If you're FOMOing right now, you're doing the exact emotional thing you shouldn't be doing. Anybody. The exact thing you shouldn't be doing. This is where you should have that fear that you've had down here where you said we're going to 15 cents. Not that I'm saying we're going to 15 cents, but that's an inappropriate place to be fearful. Inappropriate place to be fearful. Inappropriate, appropriate. Appropriate. But the thing is, the only reason it's a place to be fearful is because Elliott wave corrections, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and retracements. But it could change very quickly. If we got out, if you get actual breakout price action, which we do not have, no way, there's nothing breakout about that. That's just crawling action. But if we get an actual breakout candle, the veil of fear gets lifted and the insane YOLO excitement starts. Notice in this whole move up here, I've not had any of that, right? Not had any of the YOLO excitement stuff. None of it. I will here. But we got to see something that looks like an actual breakout. And those who were here back in the day, when we did have something like that, which was this, which is very similar to what we're doing now, right? Imagine this being your FTX collapse. Here we go. There's a little breakout. Here's this stuff. What did we do here? Exactly what we've done right now. We get back to the 786, right? And then what do? We tumble back from it, right? Get back to it. And then we get real breakout price action start to happen. And things get very exciting. And if we can get through here, it gets very exciting. But we all know we can get back here and struggle and not get through. So there's nothing really inconsistent with that messaging from really throughout the whole history of my course, or not my course, my YouTube channel. That as we're here, bite your fingernails. If you don't, if they're all gnawed down, bite your neighbor's fingernails, your spouse's, whatever it is. Just kidding. Don't chew fingernails, man. They're very dirty. You know, non-beef jerky or something. Mr. Q says, BCB, can we break out in a week or must it happen this week? Well, time's never mandatory. Ryan Renan says, okay, I'm back. I definitely have to rewatch it. So, okay, that's where we're at. There's a video released this morning completely covering XRP and my thoughts on XRP. If you, there seems to be a lot of questions about XRP. There's not any. We're right here, man. Bring it on. What are we going to do? Are we getting out of here or are we not? It's that simple. Waiting for the answer to be brought on from the market as we're back at retracement levels. As for Bitcoin, the cruel summer just continues raging on here as we're now, what are we at, a month into this thing? Just about a month in range bound. As for the stock market happening in here, it looks like we've gone green on the SPX and the S&P. Dow down 75, NASDAQ up 47. Winners this morning. Hey, looks like Netflix. Yep, Tesla still has the lead. Coinbase, the loser, down 4%. Coinbase slipping this morning. Gold catch a little bit of a bounce. Was down at 1940 when the market opened. Now up to 1957. But everybody's eyes, of course, are over here on XRP to see if we can get our way out of these Fibonacci retracement levels as we have worked our way up into here this weekend. Fingers crossed we do. For those who are OGs and who have been through this rodeo before, we get back to these things, and if we can get the breakout from it, it gets pretty exciting pretty fast. So, correct, 42 pros. He says, hey, if the C leg down is the same as the A leg, that would be about 39.38. That's correct. But all eyes are on here. I think a lot of people would cheer for that not to happen, and let's just get this show on the road. Some of us have been holding for 5 years and accumulating for 5 years. I think we're ready for it to come to an end. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead. So, Sleazy says, watch XRP pop up, and I can't even sell on Coinbase. Oh, man. Life is tough. Nah, man, I bet it's going to be the same as what Cardano was, man. You couldn't buy Cardano. You couldn't buy ADA on Coinbase when it was 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, 5 cent. It wasn't until it got to $1 that they let distribution happen over there. So maybe it's a good sign. Right? Yeah, rip Coinbase users. Imagine, man. Imagine if Coinbase brings it back and the price is like $8. And they're like, here you go, retail. You can buy it at $8 now. It's like, oh, gosh. We're going to distribute on retail. All right, that's it. I'm wrapping it up, guys. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. I released a video this morning. Welcome to the new week. That's kind of a summary of where we're at. XRP is at the retracement levels. Can we get it? Can we get some news to be released and get us catalysting out of here? Bitcoin's still in the cruel summer range. Nothing going on. Stock market mixed opening over here. Half in the green, half in the red. Same goes for the indexes in there, where metals have kind of U-turned and pulled their way back up to start the week. Otherwise, I think all of us are really, and I get it, not everybody is an XRP holder, but I would say the vast majority of my audience who watches my channel is. We're waiting to see if we can get this breakout happening here on XRP and get us into those juicy 60s. I mean, right, I would love to say all-time highs, but hey, can we say 60s? We haven't seen that in a year. That'd be great. And of course, keep on going and going and going and going, because I'm not here to sell at 60. I'm here for much higher than that. But all right, I'm wrapping it up. Hey, look at that. XRP is green for the morning. Yay. All right. I'm going to check in with you guys later if we get anything crazy happening. Otherwise, I, of course, will catch you again tomorrow morning. I want to thank you all so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.